Hi, I'm Michael Jordan with AB Friendly Company, and you're down at the Underground Meadery. Uh, Subscribe, like, share everything that you're about to see here. We're going to do backsweetening. So I'm going to do some quick stuff on uh, the next mead, and the next mead will be backsweeting a mead that you've made, and you want it either sweeter, you want to change the flavor a little bit. So I'm going to start off right off the bat. That I'm going to grab this right here. This is clover mead that we did. All right. If you're going to make meads and do meads, you should have a mead. So I'm drinking a straight clover mead. Lots of honey, pretty sweet. Uh, that's something that we're going to show some stuff about. But first thing I'm going to show you is uh, this is an apple cider. We used apples in it. It's got some stuff floating in the top. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the sediment and stuff from the jug real quick. And how I like to do that real quick is, right, because we're going to have to rack it a couple times and stuff. But to get the sediment out is I usually just set my jug up on a bucket. And this is a coffee filter that you can get, a coffee screen filter. All right. Now you can see it's still kind of cloudy, but it's clearing up pretty good. But all I'm doing is I'm trying to separate all the junk and doing an almost an initial racking, leaving some of the sediment behind. And it's just really easy to do it this way. See, as we get down to the bottom here where the must and stuff is, your little screen's going to get full and clogged up. Right? And this is where it takes time, right? This is where you're going to set it, and it's going to slowly drip the liquid out as it separates from the sediment as you do this. So I wanted to show you that this is one way how I start separating it all out. I have one that I can pour back into a jug and get going, and I'm going to have to keep slowly sedimenting this out and going it. Now you could initially rack, but your racking canes and stuff can get clogged and get stuff over. And I found that this is a pretty easy way to kind of get stuff shifted out and to move your sediment around. So I wanted to show that real quick. Let this sit down again. Whew, had to give that a little jostle. So now we have an apple that we've kind of started to separate. I can stick this back in another jug now and stick it in the refrigerator and let it to cold crash, seeing if it's like the hydrometer reading that I want and the flavor that I want. But here's a mead that we've made, and we've racked off once already. That it was a good mead, that it tasted really good. And it's a straight clover mead. And it is 13, 13, 13. So this is over 90 days. So this clover mead's been made 90 days ago and has been cold crashed, and it's all cleared up. It looks really good, right? So what I want to do though is I want to change the flavor of it a little bit, and I want it to have a little strawberry banana taste to it. So I'm going to pull off my balloon, and you can see it's still working just a little bit even after cold crashing it, right? That I still have a little sediment of yeast in there still a little bit. And what I've got here is I have a cup, or basically 10 ounces of strawberry banana juice that I have. It's some juicy juice. There's just a little bit left, right, that I've been saving, and that this is all ready to go. So the best part about doing this is there's two ways to do it. Is I have hot water in a coffee pot that I just kind of kept so my coffee pot would stay warm. I'm going to pour it out. I'm going to pour my juicy juice in here. And the coffee pot's warm. And I stick it on the burner, and I'm going to warm that up a little bit. And the reason I'm going to get this warmed up a little bit is I'm going to pour some of this in with that. I'm going to pour it all back in. Now, as you can see, I have quite a bit of head space. That was from the initial racking and everything that's over that. If it was full all the way to the top, it would definitely be a gallon. But after racking it off a couple times, cold crashing it, and then letting it sit, right, I do have a little bit of sediment at the bottom because I haven't racked it off the cold crashing yet, but it's just a little bit. Not much really to worry about at this time, because this tastes pretty good. And how I usually do this is, now that I've racked it, right, I would rack it one more time now to bottle it. So I would rack it off of this and bottle it. But I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to take a little sample. Okay, it's a little dry. Because the yeast we used, it is a high alcohol content. But I'm getting some good flavors in the background of it, and it tastes pretty good. And it's pretty clear. So what I'm going to do is that I've kind of warmed up our juice, right? I'm going to pour it directly in to my jug. Put my container back on my burner here. Oh, I took the lid off. See, you should always save your lids. I have a bucket of them over here. Always save your lids. That way you have them. And now you can see it's clouded it up already. It's not as clear as it was. So I'm going to give that a little mix. Right, I'm going to see if that's what I want, or if I need to add more juice. But usually about 10 ounces of a fruit juice works pretty good. Hints of strawberry. Not much banana, but it did blend it out pretty good. So that was 10 ounces. So we'll just use the rest of this. This will make it 16 ounces. You know, I was going to heat it up, but have enough space. Usually if you don't have enough space, you need to pour some of this out into your coffee pot to heat it up to blend it. But I had quite a bit of room to make that happen. Like I said, you can see now that by adding the other juice that it's not clear anymore, right? And I just kind of mixed up. If there's any residual yeast at the bottom, it's going to eat the juice we just added. And since there's not a lot of yeast in there and it's almost dead and dormant, yeah, now it's strawberry, banana, yeah. So I've just taken the honey flavor, and instead of doing a whole process of adding all the juices to it, as I just made a regular mead, and I backsweeten it with some strawberry banana juice, just enough to blend it down into a different taste. So that way the alcohol isn't so overpowering when you drink it and stuff. So now that I've mixed that back up, I will put another balloon on it, and I will probably let this sit for another 15 to 30 days. Watch the balloon rise a little bit, see if it clears up a little bit more again, and then I'll do this process again until I can get the flavor that I'm exactly wanting. So you've seen us now rack off fruit and stuff, and it takes a process and some time for that to drain. But you already have a product that you can try and sample. You've seen us taking a clear product that we've racked twice, cold crashed to kind of make everything dormant, and now back flavored it to a strawberry banana flavoring. And this is a dark Concord grape. The grapes and all the stuff, this should be sour. What I have done is this is all ready to be cold crashed, right? So basically I have racked it off one time. I don't know if you can see it, but it's pretty clear. It's got a pretty good color from it, coming from it. But I've racked this off, and it's about ready to be cold crashed. But what I want to do is I'm going to pull the balloon off. I'm going to sample it and see if it still is. This was a little sour, extremely dry, good flavor. It's got great color. But it tasted more of a wine to me with the 2.5 pounds of honey. Yeah, lots of grape, a little acidity. Yeah, very bitter. So what I want to do is I want to pour some of this in here and warm it up. And the best way to see if it's warmed up is I'm going to backsweeten this grape with honey. So I'm going to pour some honey directly in this coffee pot with that juice. And what I'm adding here is a pound. And I usually add a pound of honey per gallon to backsweeten. Now we have to dissolve the honey with the hot water. Get my stir stick here. So if you notice, I'm using the coffee pot again. And I'm able to set it on the burner and warm this stuff up a little bit. So I'll just set it on there and I'll start warming that up a little bit. Now, this is a dark grape. It says it had 2.5 pounds, 2 quarts of Welch's grape juice. and then topped off with water. 1 pack of red star yellow pack yeast, right? So right now I could take a gravity reading of it and go with the gravity reading off of it and see what our alcohol content is, right? So we might as well go ahead and do that, because what we've done is we've racked this off once, right? So we're just kind of see, it's got a nice clear tint to it after racking it off. I like that. Now it says it started off at 1.080. So it has eaten, the yeast has eaten all the sugar, right? So let's see. Yeah, we're at 0.9999. So let's see what it says if it was at 1.08. 1.008. So we're looking at 11% alcohol. So this right now is at 11%, but we're going to sweeten it up a little bit, right? Which is going to drop it probably down to about 6% alcohol because of how we're doing this. All right, let me check my pot here. See if we're dissolving this honey. Yeah. Just trying to get all the honey out of my 1 pound jar, because I'm adding 1 pound of honey to 1 gallon of, this would be a piment. So this is a dark grape piment made with Welch's grape juice and some extra water. The yeast that I used made it a little, dried it all the way out. So it's a little sour tasting, high acidity. We measured the alcohol around 11%. See, we're just getting all the honey out of the jar now. So we're able to get all the residual honey out by doing it that way. And now I can take, and then one reason it's good to fill the hydrometer, do it all this way, is that way I don't overfill the jug, right? That's the one thing, is when you do the blend, you don't want to, you're going to displace the volume a little bit. So see, we've displaced it now by adding that extra pound of honey in there. I'm just going to see, there's some residual in here. We'll just pour that in here. Oh yeah, this is going to sweeten it up really good. So I'm going to put a balloon on it and let it go for almost a secondary fermentation, sweeten it up a little bit. Get a little jostle. All right, so we gave it a little jostle. So there was a little bit on how to start finalizing some of your meads, that if you have fruit or pulp through it, right, you need to start filtering it down, right? And like I said, if you're not competition grading it right, a little filter does a little bit and it's just fine. Uh, you saw how we back flavored a regular dry mead that was pretty dry, had limited flavor. We back flavored it with some strawberry banana juice, and we're going to let it sit. Then you saw where we just kind of racked one out, getting ready to cold crash it and everything. But why we did that, we wanted to black flavor it with the honey a little bit. So I'm going to let this sit, right, for probably 24 hours now. And then I'm going to let it cold crash. And that way the sweetness stays in there and it doesn't ferment as much. And then we'll rack it out a couple times to make sure that it's clear. Hopefully that helped out some stuff with you, seeing what's going on. Then you can kind of get some products made like this. This is our peach Bellini. It looks pretty good. Here's a chocolate s'mores. That one looks pretty good. There's the clover, and you can see it's kind of cloudy. Right, man, it's got some great flavor. This one right here was us showing us how to make mead at the University of Wyoming's Bee College. The cheapest way to make mead, we proved that to make a gallon of mead, it only costs you $24. You can make a gallon of mead. This one right here, I wanted to show off. This is from my friend Dan, who worked in Hawaii at an apiary there. He worked there for a year. He was able to see the whole aspects of working at an apiary in Hawaii, pollinating macadamia nuts. And one of the greatest things was the Christmas tree berry that they make blood honey from. And this is blood red. And it's strictly from the nectar, man. It was super cool. I want to give him a big shout out for him in Hawaii and making us some blood honey. He filtered it, made all the stuff, and separated it so it was all pure blood honey. It was beautiful red. People at the University of Wyoming's Bee College thought it was incredible. And then they saw us make our candied apple. This is a candy apple mead that we made that had chocolate and cranberry apple juice, and super cool to make. But I wanted to give a quick shout out to the University of Wyoming's Bee College and let us teach some fabulous mead making there, where people got to sample and try and meet some other mead makers and got to try a whole bunch of great meads. And shout out to Dan W., man, for the honey from Hawaii, the blood honey, for us to do it at the college. That was super great. But I'm Michael Jordan with AB Friendly Company in Cheyenne, Wyoming. You can reach us at abfriendlycompany.com. That's all one word, ABEE, friendlycompany.com. Or write us at gmail.com. Same thing, AB Friendly Company. Catch us on Facebook, Instagram. Here, you're catching us on YouTube. We hope that you kind of like how we kind of spent some time here real quick on showing you how we're filtering stuff across, back flavoring and sweetening, and some exotic honeys that people are selling us and sending us and letting us try, and how we got to do some great stuff. So like, share, subscribe, get some more people to join in and making a great product. And if you see us doing a mead making event, come and drink some mead, man, and try some meads that people bring and stuff, and win some prizes. It's super cool. But I'm Michael Jordan down here at the Underground Meadery, and we're hoping that you're having a really good time and enjoying our videos.